So these exercises are what we call gaze stability exercises, and often you find when a person has had an inner ear problem, there's a reduction in the reflex between the ears and the eyes, and this slows down. So instead of being able to keep my vision fixed on an object and turn my head quickly, there's a reduction in that reflex. So the head moves one speed, but the eyes move slightly slower, and your vision can sometimes feel a little bit blurred in certain situations, or as if things or objects are slightly moving or jumping. So this is a very important exercise to practice. So you're going to, if you can write a letter or get a business card or something, and either place it on the wall to start with or stick it onto a stick or something like this, and you're going to look at the letter. And to begin with, if it's quite a difficult exercise, you might just want to keep your eyes fixed on the letter and just turn your head slowly, pause, and then come back, and then slowly pause and then come back. And then once that feels easier, you can then start to do without the pause, slightly quicker movement. So if you want to see how that feels to start with. So if you want to start moving your head, and if that's difficult, pause. So move your head, stop, and pause in the middle. So if you stop there, and then turn your head. So it's quite a small movement of your head. And we're looking for that letter to stay clear, not go blurry. And if that feels okay, you can start to do a slightly quicker head movement without pausing, but the whole time the letter wants to remain clear. If there is any blurring of the letter, then you just need to reduce the speed of the head movement until it stays clear. Okay, so you can stop there. And if that feels okay, then same movement but slightly quicker again, so almost like you're saying no. Okay. Good. And we want the letter to stay clear still, not jump too much. Okay. Good. So ideally with this exercise, for the brain to start to try and adapt and try and work out that there's a problem and try to correct it, you need to try and do this exercise for around a minute or so if possible, and gradually build up 2 minutes if possible. If that's too challenging, then obviously you can reduce the length of time you're doing it, or the speed, or the number of repetitions in the daytime. And it's usually easier to start it sitting and then progress to standing once it becomes easy sitting. And you want to try and do this maybe twice a day to start with, then building up to 3 or 4 times a day. Then you can do the same exercise, but this time looking at the letter and moving your head up and down. Good, so yeah, if you want to pause to start with, good. Okay, so the eyes remain on the letter the whole way through. And then if that feels okay, start to speed up the movement slightly. So it's quite a smallish movement, like you're kind of nodding and keeping those eyes fixed, and then you can gradually get quicker. Okay. So we're looking for probably you will get maybe some mild symptoms with these exercises, but they should settle quickly within kind of 20-30 seconds up to a minute. And you should feel like after 15 minutes after you've done all your exercises that you're able to carry on with your normal daily routine. And if it's causing too many symptoms, then again we need to reduce the number of repetitions, or reduce the speed, or reduce the frequency initially, and then build back up to doing more at a later date. Okay, another way to progress this one to make it more challenging is to keep looking at the letter, but this time you're going to move your head and the letter in the opposite direction to each other. That's it, good. So it's quite challenging. So the next progression, once sitting feels okay, is to try the same exercise but standing. You can do this with the letter taped to the wall or holding it again in front. And the same movement, eyes fixed on the letter and turning the head from side to side. As it may feel more difficult standing, you might want to slow the speed down initially and then progress the speed as it becomes easier. And then again, the same with the head up and down. So just smallish movements with your head, so that's it. Good. And then again, increasing the speed, so it's almost like you're nodding. Good. Okay. Once the plain background feels okay, you can then progress on to a patterned background. So again, the same exercise, but with a busier background. And different patterns might feel challenging for different people. Sometimes using wrapping paper or wallpaper cuttings can work as well. And then doing it in different rooms, different lighting, different environments can make it more challenging.